Welcome back to Building the Burbs. My name is Howard,
This is Keegan.
and we have a very, very, very special guest today, Anike with Lapapoe.
Ooh, I love that you said very, very, very special.
Very.
Thank you.
Thank
I like
you.
it.
Thank you for coming on. You wanna?
Sure, let's start off with some icebreakers.
Sounds good.
What's your morning pick-me-up? Like your go-to coffee order?
All right, so it depends on what season we're in.
Mhm.
Right now, we're in the fall, the change of
Yeah.
leaves. It's got to be that pumpkin.
Oh, I love
Okay.
that. That sounds so
Yeah.
good. Hot or iced?
Hot
Okay.
morning,
Yep.
iced afternoon, especially in
That's
Atlanta.
good. Yeah.
So as far as like your ideal kind of client, what do you imagine that for you?
For me, it's the parent that's the most overwhelmed.
Hmm.
I had a parent that had 2 kids, autism, very young, never left the house because she was a single parent.
Mm-hmm.
And just coming and seeing her say thank you, like that
Yeah.
for me is the ideal client.
Wow.
For sure.
What would you say is your guiding force throughout your life right now?
God.
Mm.
I think God is my center.
Mhm.
But I think in terms of like what directs my path, it's knowing the impact I get to make. Like being able to visualize something and seeing it come into fruition.
100%.
Yeah.
Speaking of God, if God allows you to see 10 years ahead into your future, would you take a look?
I love that question. And it's funny because earlier today on LinkedIn, someone posted, "Your calling will call you until you answer."
Mhm.
And I feel like that's what this is for me. Like it
Wow.
was a vision that I had of
Yeah.
the impact and the change that needs to be made on earth. And I was like, I wasn't listening at first. I had a whole vision of what my life was going to be like. I was
Wow.
going to be a special needs teacher, going to be in my little special needs classroom, and I was going to go that path. I was like, no, you're not. It was like, knock, are you there? Listen. So you
Yeah.
go and do that thing. So
For
yeah,
sure.
now we're doing the
Wow.
thing.
For sure.
So I guess, on that note, if you want to talk a little bit more about how your faith has led you in this direction with the work that you do and the impact that you can experience for yourself.
Yeah, I think my faith is at the center of everything. I don't know how entrepreneurs do entrepreneurship without faith. Because what are you relying on?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah.
You get burnt out,
Yeah.
like,
When that storm comes
Yeah.
and your house is built on sand, your house is gonna sink.
Mhm.
If you don't have that steady foundation, you ain't. For me, faith is that base.
Mhm.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Sure. So kind of like really back a little bit, right? So Lapapoe, right? What does Lapapoe do? Services provide, and who is it for?
Yeah, so Lapapoe is for families that have children with special needs, whether that's autism, ADHD. We really focus on easing that care journey for those families. So we connect families to respite providers and also streamline care coordination for those families because those
Okay.
parents are usually overwhelmed. They're balancing all the things. They've got 10,000 pieces of paper. So we use AI to really make sure those matches are accurate. So make sure the needs of the child are specifically matched to the needs of the caregiver.
Okay.
Mhm.
Awesome.
So if you had to like walk us back, going back into the past, how has, your life led up to the point that you're at? Like, what are your motivations? What were some of the things that you did in the past that has kind of led to Lapapoe being formed and the services you provide?
That is a good question. So I'll say this. When I was a baby,
Mm.
I had interception, which led to death. So yeah, I died as a baby.
Wow.
And part of me feels like I went to this place like baby heaven. And
Oh.
and these babies were like, hey, when you go back to Earth, can you like help us out? So,
my God.
Wow.
so all I've done my whole life is work with children.
Wow.
Like when I was a
Wow.
kid, I wanted to work with kids. I wanted to be, I used to see like the mailbox signs with like the numbers. I'm like, I want to put my number on the sign to be a babysitter. I was like 10.
Oh.
Like, no one's going to let you babysit your kids at 10.
Yeah.
And then I worked with children with special needs. I became a teacher. I've been on like working with these families for like 14 years in different
Wow.
settings. And then I just decided to listen to that call inside of me that wouldn't leave me alone and became an entrepreneur.
Mhm.
Wow. Love that.
Now well, you were born in Atlanta, right?
Yeah.
But you spent a lot of your childhood in Nigeria. Is that correct?
Yeah, so born in Atlanta,
Mhm.
left when I was 11, moved to Nigeria for 2 years, then moved to London for 20 years, and then moved back to Atlanta.
Wow.
So how has that like multicultural kind of
Mhm.
thing impacted like the way you interact with people?
I love that question. That's a
Yeah.
really good question. And I think being in different environments really opens your eyes to how the world works.
Mm.
I think in Nigeria, Nigeria's a beautiful country,
Mm,
but it's a very different way of living.
for sure.
So I went to boarding school in Nigeria,
Mhm.
and I was like outside, like washing dishes at night, like fetching water to have a shower. Like
Oh.
Wow.
it taught me resilience. That's what it
Wow.
taught me. It taught me how like life is not smooth sailing. You will have to pick things up. You will
Mhm.
have to carry things. You will have to move. Um, and it just made me appreciate life. I think I was very spoiled as a kid in America.
Mm.
Like I didn't know the fullness of life.
Yeah.
And then London again was a culture shock. It also opened my eyes to a different way of living, and I think it altogether it made me a full-rounded person.
Mm.
Wow.
Yeah.
If you had to, think of one misconception that a lot of people think of when, it comes to caregiving to children, especially with special needs, what do you think that one misconception would be?
I would say that there's a child underneath the label. I think a lot of people see the label before they see the child.
Wow.
Mm.
So they say, oh, that child has autism, so they don't understand. No, a lot of times they do understand. And if you can get to them at a level where you can see eye to eye with them, they're picking up what you're putting down.
For
Yeah.
sure.
Like they're responding. They might not be able to speak because they might have they might be pre-verbal or non-verbal, but they can still communicate with you in their eyes and their gestures and the way they pull you and the way they direct you. Like they can still understand.
Mm-hmm.
So I think there's a big misconception that the label has to define the child, and it doesn't.
Wow. Makes sense.
So I see that you volunteered at an orphanage in Peru.
Yeah.
Talk a little bit about that experience and how it's kind of impacted you.
Yeah, that was beautiful. So I spent 10 weeks in Peru. I love that where you get this information from?
Do my research. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, so I spent 10 weeks out in Peru. Part of that was part of it we stayed in like the city area, and then the other part we went and we stayed in the what they called like the slums.
Yeah.
But we stayed in Villa El Salvador, and it was very interesting. So we had to like get up and walk the streets and like get on the buses. My Nigerian experience was
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
like Nigeria is also a beautiful place, and there's lots of beautiful places in Nigeria, but there's that
Yeah.
dichotomy of difference. But I think being in that environment and seeing that there were all these children that just needed to just have a home, like that also shaped the work that I do today. Like it's
Wow.
just opening my eyes to seeing there's a lot of children that don't have parents.
Mhm.
Like there's a lot of children that are just left, and these are like babies,
Yeah.
and they were just left.
Mhm.
Like, and it like shaped my desire to do more for children.
For sure.
What's one piece of advice if you had to give to new families who are, new to caregiving to children with special needs?
I would say that you have everything you need,
Mm.
and you know everything that you need.
Mhm.
Like the parents are the first professionals. They with that child morning to night. They're with that child
Yeah.
every day. Like you know your child more than anyone knows them.
Yeah.
So like being able to just have that confidence and say, yeah, I can do it, I think is what I would say to a parent. Like you're more than capable.
Now, and so you were a special needs teacher, right?
Yeah.
So what kind of like challenges did you witness like families running
Mhm.
into during your teaching?
Yeah. I think especially with schools, there tends to be this disconnect between parents and the establishments. I've noticed that in London. I've noticed that here. There's
Mm.
kind of like not all the time, but often there's like a us them mentality. I think parents are made to figure it out. They're
Interesting.
told, hey, you've got this child, the doctor says, here you go, here's your label.
Yeah.
The parent's like, okay, what now?
Now
Yeah.
what? Yeah.
You know? And then they get bounced between these different people and go here and go there. And the parent, mind you, is also managing their full-time job, managing all these things. So look at the statistics, like 40% of parents leave their jobs. 60% have to make adjustments just to take care of
Yeah.
the children.
Yeah.
So many of them become full-time child caregivers.
Yeah.
Many of them end up in divorce because it's so much on them. And I'm like, it's 2025. Like, life shouldn't be like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
Literally when we got people with 100 billion.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy. Like, why is it so hard?
Yeah.
Like, it
Yeah.
really shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Yeah.
So I guess going back to, anecdotes, if you were to think on one story, one challenge, one moment that was really career and life defining for you, what would that be? That really moved you?
That's a good question. I would say it was probably when I decided to take the leap and leave full-time work. I
Okay.
think that it opened my eyes of what's possible.
Mhm.
I think when I was in a full-time job, I was secure. And I put quotes on because there's no such thing as security.
Yeah, for sure.
Like, I mean, especially in this economy.
Yeah.
My God.
Yeah.
But like, I had this image of what security was. And
Yeah.
I had this image of like, I can do it. I can make it happen. And all I have to do is stay under this roof of this person. And I remember I went to what I don't call a head teacher, but people call principals here.
Mhm.
And I was like, I really want to be in management one day. And she was like, yeah, sure, but not here.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was one thing.
Yeah.
And then another thing was when I was like in a school placement, when I was doing my teaching qualifications, and someone said, when like the same head teacher or a different head teacher, both had the same positions, she said, what is it, Anike? Why is it that you're not getting it? Is it drugs? I'm like, you're accusing me of being on drugs because I'm having a hard time.
Yeah.
And then the other thing is that you're telling me I'm not able to reach as high as I want to achieve because it's in your school.
Mm-hmm.
Like, from those two positions, I was like, I will never allow someone to put a block on my achievement. Like,
Absolutely.
I can never be in a space where someone says, you can only go this high,
Yeah.
then you're done.
Yeah.
No.
Nah. Yeah. Nah.
No. So yeah, those were defining moments for me.
Yeah. Oh.
And so you launched Lapapoe in 2019 in London while you were still teaching, right?
Yeah.
So a couple questions, right? So like, because I think it started as like a product for.
Oh, yeah, good. What research you been looking at?
Hey, it started as like a product for parents with special needs children. So why, I guess, that initial like product, and then also like how did you manage teaching while also having like starting a business?
Oh, I love these questions. So I would say it was that same kind of, when I say a calling that won't leave you alone, it was like this thing inside my belly that was like, you should do this, you should do this. So I started going to like business workshops. I was like, I kind of feel like I want to start a business. And I started going to courses, and I was like, okay. And then the courses would say, oh, you need to do something that can make money. I'm like, okay. So it was like, I was like, I really want to do this thing to help these parents. And like, how does it make money? I was like, I don't know. so I was like, I know, products make money.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to make a product marketplace to sell products for children with special needs. Because I'm like, I really want to help this community. I'm feeling it like something in my spirit. Something's telling me I need to do something to help these families and do something that makes money at the same time so I can make more impact for the families. And so COVID-19 happened, and I was like, we were still making sales, mind you, because like we had in-ground trampolines and all the things that parents were buying at home. But I was like, this isn't it.
Yeah.
Like, this isn't helping. Products are not helping families.
Yeah.
It's nice. It's nice to be able to buy a product. It's nice to be able to buy these things. But how is it helping what is it doing to help a family?
Yeah.
Like, that's not their challenge.
Yeah.
Their challenge is not buying products. It was the care journey.
Yeah.
So it was like,
Wow.
I was like, that's not it.
Yeah.
So I moved to Atlanta and I pivoted. To be honest, I was also being disobedient in that because I had an image in my head of, I'm gonna move to Atlanta and I'm gonna like get another teaching job and I'm just gonna like be a teacher with special needs kids in
Yeah.
Atlanta. God was like, no, you're not. And I was like, okay, so I'm not. And then I was like, I know that the real challenge wasn't that. So it was like, okay, let's pivot. Like, is we got into this to help families.
Mhm.
Let's help the families that we got into this to help. So,
Mhm.
yeah.
And I guess kind of like the other question, like how were you able to kind of manage like teaching while also like managing all of this?
When I decided to leave full-time teaching. It was funny because I was driving to work one day and I heard in my spirit, where are you going? I'm like, to work. And I heard in my spirit, no, you're not. And I'm like, everyone has that inner voice.
Yeah.
I was like, yes, I am. But anyway, I decided to like, okay, I'm gonna just this like I said, that post, your calling will not leave you.
Yeah.
It will keep knocking on your door until you answer it.
For sure.
So I was like, okay, I just decided to answer the door. So I left full-time teaching and then I was like, okay, I am still going to control because I'm still gonna part-time teach. So I had one foot in part-time teaching, I had one foot in the business, and I was doing this kind of teetering dance. I was like, I'm kind of gonna obey this calling that's been on me, but I'm also gonna keep my hand on what's secure.
Yeah.
So I was kind of doing this like in and out thing. And then I eventually felt, you know what, just jump. And you don't know you can float until you jump. First,
Yeah.
you start to sink when you jump because you're like, I can't breathe.
Yeah.
And then you're like, okay, I can
do
this.
this.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the water's not that deep. Like I always think of it as a child that's going swimming. Like, okay, first they're like, oh my gosh, I can't breathe, and then they're like, okay, I can let my hands go.
Yeah.
Okay, like this isn't too deep. This isn't too bad. Like you just start to float,
Yeah.
especially if it's your path, if it's your, like, if you're aligned with where you're supposed to be. And I believe everyone has a purpose and everyone has a path. Like, if you're aligned with that path and you're aligned with that purpose, then life will gradually move you in that direction. Like, you might try and go this way, but I see it like Mario Kart.
Yeah.
You ever play Mario Kart and you're
Yeah.
driving, and this little cloud will like come and pick you up if you go in the wrong way. You're
Yeah.
going the wrong way. You're going the wrong way. It'll pick you up and it'll turn you around and
Yeah.
like you'll go back
Yeah.
on that path. That's how I see my life. Like,
Wow.
Wow.
I was like, yeah, I'm gonna move to Atlanta and become a teacher. You're going the wrong way.
Wow.
So yeah, I feel like once you do that, you just kind of flow with life. Like it's not forced. You don't try and control it. You don't try and teeter like, oh, I've got it and I don't. Like
Yeah.
you just kind of flow and you accept what is and you accept what comes, and some things leave and some things go and some things come. Like,
Yeah.
and
sure.
it's just this dance. So yeah.
It's beautiful.
Wow.
If you were to dive deeper into what you do right now and tell us a little bit more about the business, how does it support families, what services you offer, and how do you structure those services? Like, how are you going about detailing every case? How is it tailored? Is it tailored? A little bit more information on that.
Yeah. So right now, when a family feels like they need to breathe, they would call Lapapoe. So they can call directly, they can book a call online, and then we set up a home visit. So with that call, they say, this is my child's needs, nonverbal communication, some behavior challenges, they are not toilet trained or they are toilet trained, all those pieces. And then from that, we find, right now it's very manual. So early stage kind of developing wise, it's very manual. So it's like very, okay, these are your child's needs. We do the home visit and then we connect them to the provider that matches those needs. So some providers are like, I'm very happy with like kids that have difficult behaviors. Some are like, don't give me a child that is over 5 that has behavior needs. Like, so we match that so the caregivers don't burn out and the families are able to find someone that really matches their child's needs. And the next stage of development is to develop an algorithm that will get that parent's information,
Yeah.
from the sources that the parents allow, whether it's the child welfare system, whether it's the education system, the health system, and it will allow that matching to be done directly for the caregivers. So we're even closely matching.
Makes sense.
So yeah, that's what we do.
So what's the vetting process for these caregivers? Like, how are you looking at sieving through them?
So at the moment, we're registered with Georgia Department of Early Care and Learning.
Okay.
So all caregivers have to go through a fingerprint check.
Oh, okay.
So they send the information in. Decal will do the fingerprint check. And so then they're able to either work with families or they're able to work with childcare centers or family childcare homes. So that's how we do the kind of background checking for the caregivers.
And are these caregivers, like, I'm assuming they're trained and they're professionally trained in that aspect?
Yeah, so that depends on the needs of the family. So if the
Okay.
family says we are happy with like a college student that has life experience,
I see.
we're able, so there's some college students that have like younger brothers or sisters that have autism, so we're able to match that family with that person.
Okay, that makes sense.
If the family's like, no, I need a CNA or RBT, we're able to match that family with that person. And then the rates kind of vary depending on what scale of person, professional level that they need.
Gosh. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick short break. Then we'll be right back.
This podcast is brought to you by Hatchbridge Incubator. Hatchbridge Incubator is a partnership between Kennesaw State University and the Cobb Chamber of Commerce. We offer entrepreneurs the programs, the support, and the accountability that they need to build their businesses. We have programs and we have facilities for them to use. So our new facility will launch off of Chastain Road in the summer of 2025. We'll have 9 private offices for companies. We'll also have dedicated hot desk space for them to work at, and we'll have an event facility there as well. Learn more at hatchbridge.com.
All right, guys, we are back with Anike.
So,
yeah.
I think Howard asked a very interesting question in the beginning about, if God gave you the opportunity to look in 10 years into the future, would you? I think off of that, what is your vision right now as it stands for Lapapoe going into the next 5 years? Like, what are goals you want to hit? What are, some achievements that you're looking forward to? And just the overall idea of how you want to shape the business.
Yeah, so within the next 5 years, I want Lapapoe to be in around the US.
Okay.
At minimum. Like the overall vision is that Lapapoe would be in US, UK, and Nigeria. Because those are places I've lived in, those places where I feel like I've seen the difficulty. But I think it can definitely be within the 50 states within 5 years. And then to achieve that, it would be gaining investment. So right now I'm looking at applying to some investment accelerators to really, because right now it's been like bootstrapped and
Sure.
a grant for 5,000, which we've 3x that grant in revenue, which is great. But imagine what could happen if there was actually investment into the company.
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the stage right now is like focusing on getting an investment accelerator, or a decent chunk grant that can actually build in a team, build in the impact, build in the marketing, the social communications, all the pieces. And then within the next 5 years, I feel like 50 states, at least 20 states if we've not reached the 50. But I feel like that's doable.
Just quickly building off of that, right? You've witnessed caregiving in all these 3 different, regions. How, if there was one thing that stood out to you that's treated or done differently in these 3 different regions, what would that one thing be? Like, how is caregiving approached differently?
I would say the US versus UK versus Nigeria. So I would say it's resource availability. So the UK has free national healthcare, which means parents can easily access what they need.
Sure.
But there's also very limited focus on disabilities. I think one thing that's consistent across everywhere is that disabilities is like seen as an add-on.
Yeah.
I was in a conference with, and they were focusing on how disabilities isn't actually listed in kids count, which is it's not listed as a category that can be connected with other categories. So you can't necessarily look at disability and household income. You can't look at disability, household income, and race. You can't look at those kind of factors connected.
I see.
So I think, and that's in the US. So I think even with the US and how it's meant to be like this, you know, people like the US, the American dream, okay, but there's still so much lack in 2025 with a focus on this population. So,
Makes sense.
yeah.
Now, building a startup in itself is hard.
Ooh, you better preach.
Now you combine that with the industry you're in, with
Mm-hmm.
childcare and special needs and technology. What are some of the challenges that you faced during your journey with that?
Oh, I like it. So I would say what I'm trying to do is unique in some ways. I think when you look at special needs, a lot of people have an assumption that is a not-for-profit. And my question is, if you see children, do you automatically assume that they're non-for-profit?
Yeah.
Because but when someone says, oh, special needs, they're like, oh, well, you're a nonprofit. And like, no, social impact company. You can't make the kind of impact that I see without being
For-profit.
a for-profit company.
That makes sense.
I think you can do a lot as being a charity, but you're
limited
in some ways.
Makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah. So that's been like trying to make that argument within like the investor population has been somewhat of a challenge. Yeah.
Okay. I guess one more question I have for you is essentially like the families out there, right? What kind of advice would you give to them? More so like the families who are first experiencing all of this and it's new to them. What kind of advice would you give to them?
I would say for any family that it's new to, there's a lot of stigma around this, especially within like the Black and brown population. There's a whole lot of, oh no, don't worry, it's gonna go away. Oh, don't, you know, like someone said once, like,
just pray.
It's okay. Someone said once, like, oh, he still has autism for now.
For now.
I was like, what? Like, what are you? What have you been told?
That's crazy.
Like, what did someone tell you? So I think for like those kind of early parents, I would just say ignore the stigma and get your child what they need early.
Yeah.
Because the earlier you can get them what they need, the earlier you can detect it, the better chances that they have. Like early intervention is everything. And there's, especially in Georgia, there's so much around early intervention. Babies Can't Wait. I'm on the work group for Babies Can't Wait. And there's so much in that families can access for free if your child is under 3. So if you're suspecting that early stage under 3, go get early intervention. Like even if they're past 3, like find out what your child needs and get them what they need early. And then look after yourself as well, because it is a journey.
So, and this is my last question for you, but you know, we started off the podcast with a theme. We talked a lot about God. 2 things, right? One, how do you lean on God throughout your journey and in your everyday life, for your business, for your personal life, for the work that you do? How do you get that strength and however you do that? That's one. Second, what advice would you give to new entrepreneurs who are either starting out or even entrepreneurs that are doing stuff for the longest time? How would you suggest that they can lean on God?
I love that question. That's a beautiful question. I was at a conference 2 days ago, and I said, people know the Maslow's hierarchy of needs. There should be a founder sustainability hierarchy of needs. And that
like
bottom
that.
layer, so many people look at it like, oh, investment is the base layer. It is not.
Yeah.
Like, because I can point to so many different companies that have had investment and are not around right now. Like so many. And where are they?
For sure.
Like, I think for me, like, God is my everything. So I wake up in the morning, pray, meditate, journal before I go to bed, do my gratitude journal, like make sure I appreciate all the little things in the day.
Absolutely.
And then I pray again, and then I meditate again before I go to sleep. But it's like, I need that so I can have the internal strength. This, my pastor calls it spiritual stamina. Like, I need to have that stamina to keep going.
Yeah.
And I think if people don't have that stamina, if they don't have that why, if they don't have the right mental health, like it doesn't matter how much investment you have. If you don't have a strong foundation, you don't have a strong faith, you don't have a strong why, that company, what is it built on?
Mm.
Like, and how long is it going to sustain before your thoughts start running wild, before something happens in your faith and you start looking at fear instead of faith, before like the rocket starts happening? Like, what are you going to do then? Like, so I think entrepreneurs should, I'm not saying it has to be a specific religion. You need to have a faith in a higher power that's greater than yourself, because you can only reach your highest self, which is your current limitations. So you need a higher power to stretch that current limitations past the you just now. So yeah, I would say like definitely find your faith, whatever that is. But it has to be something outside of yourself, in a greater God that's orchestrating this. And have the right mental health, have a strong why, know why you're doing it, know who you're doing it for. Like, because if people don't need what you're building, you have no company. So like, if you, like, well, if you're not solving a problem for anyone, what are you doing? Another logo.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. So where can the people learn more about Lapapoe and reach out?
Yeah. So if you Google LAPAPOE, you can find us on all platforms: YouTube, Spotify. There's also a website, LinkedIn. So yeah.
So,
all right. Thank you so much for coming on. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see y'all next time.
Thank you.